Are you trying to figure out the least expensive way to live on the water here in the Florida Panhandle? That's exactly what we're going to talk about. Let's get into it. What is going on? It is Andrew with the Emerald Group right here at eXp Realty. Listen, in today's video, we're going to be talking all about how to get on the water in a condo as inexpensively as possible. So if you're trying to figure out everything there is to know about the Florida Panhandle, we come to the right channel. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and tickle that little bell so that you'll be notified every single time we do a new video. And real quick, before we jump into the video, if you are thinking about moving to the Florida Panhandle in any capacity, go ahead and reach out to us whichever way makes sense for you. Call, text, email, carrier, pigeon, smoke signal, whatever you want. We've got your back when it comes to moving here to the Florida Panhandle. Now let's get into it. The first of the three bargain complexes that we're going to be talking about today that are all right on the water will be Finisterra. Now these are not bargain condos because they're cheap and gross looking and, you know, just kind of rough. These are going to be overall the best bang for your buck in the area. So they might not necessarily be the cheapest to get on the water, but they're going to be fairly close with a lot of great amenities. Now, as I mentioned, the first one will be Finisterra. Small story here. I actually lived here originally when I first moved here. I was stationed at Eglin Air Force Base. And as soon as I had to move off base, this was the place that I found. It was beautiful. It's right on the water. Great for a young single guy with just one little pup. I did live on the second floor, which I do regret. I kind of wish I would have found a first floor unit because I did have a dog at the time. I still have the same dog actually, but I had to take her up and down the stairs all the time. And I used to get a lot of complaints about her barking. So it wasn't the most ideal, but I did live here for several years and it was a great experience. Now, before I take you out of here to the video of Finisterra, please keep in mind that they are doing a little bit of repairs. What I assume is because of this last hurricane, they probably had too much rain and it probably flooded a little bit. I could tell just by looking in some of the windows of some of the Bayfront condos rather, that some of them look like they had damage in it. This is not normal. This is actually a pretty high and dry complex most of the time. In fact, I lived there for about 4 years and I never saw any of them flood. So not 100% sure if that's what happened, but that's my best guess. So when you see a little bit of that damage, just please overlook that or keep that in the back of your mind actually, in case you are purchasing out here. That is something you might have to deal with. Now, keep in mind, we do have flood insurance, so a lot of these people are covered, but it still doesn't make it very fun when all of your stuff gets destroyed if you're on the first level. All right, but without further ado, let's go ahead and head to Finisterra and let's get my thoughts. Let's go. Looks like we made it. Finisterra, one of my favorite little bargain condos to purchase. You're surrounded by water on two different sides. You can see a bunch of Finisterra behind us now. We've got this whole inlet here, and then of course the entire bay, which we picked a pretty good day because you got a whole bunch of people learning how to sail out there. So that'll be pretty good. Right now they're doing a bunch of construction. Looks like the HOA is taking care of some stuff, so you can kind of see a little bit of the siding being fixed out here. It looks like it's pretty worn, but very cool little complex. Built in the 70s, but kind of has a modern look. It's very inexpensive to get on the water, but unfortunately you can't do short-term rentals here, so you do have to keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go. looks like the damage done. It's probably from a hurricane. The last winds that come through, or water may have come through here with the way everything is kind of cut off here at the bottom. So it's definitely something to consider if you're going to live on the water here. It's actually the first time I've ever seen Finisterra in this situation. I actually lived here early on. First place I ever moved was actually right here around the corner. Lived here 4 or 5 years, never had any flooding issues or anything like that, but as you can clearly tell, they have. But that doesn't happen, or if you're on the second floor, you've got a lot of cool things to do. Probably losing me on the audio here, but you've got these great little benches. You've got the sunrise and the sunset. You could both see from this angle here, all the way here, and all the way down here. You look off in the distance. Let's see if I can get my finger on it. You can see a little green. The camera doesn't really pick it up. It's actually much closer than the camera looks. Probably audio is probably messed up. It's got to be pointed at me, but yeah, you can see Destin right off in the distance. You've got Fort Walton right here. Point off to that. Centrally located, just a few minutes from Eglin Air Force Base. It's actually why I chose this place originally when I moved here, was to, I forgot how beautiful it is, but was to be very close to Eglin. I wanted to be just a short minute's drive from the front gate, which I am, or was back then. It was pretty good. I lived on the second floor up here, never had any issues with anything. Of course, like I said, I've never seen any of this damage. I'm not sure if this was the last little tropical storm that came through a few days ago, which I'm guessing it is because I was just out here. I know it's not from Sally, because that was too far ago. But anyway, let's take a look at the rest. Let's go. While we're walking through the courtyard, and there's not a whole lot to look at, this particular complex is made up primarily of 2-bed, 1-baths and 1-bed, 1-baths. There may be some 2-2s, but I don't recall ever seeing one. I'm pretty sure they're all 2-1s or 1-1s. Of course, when it comes to prices, I'll talk to you guys about that in the office when I can have all those notes in front of me. But you can generally get into this complex in the 100s very easily. In fact, they were in the 90s there for the 1-1s that weren't on the water. Of course, the waterfront ones are in the 200s. They were in the high 100s, but I don't think we'll be seeing those or that price anytime soon. So here's our little courtyard. And you've got the pool house right next to us, which we're gonna go take a look at. They keep these grounds very well manicured. There's also dog bags everywhere and trash cans so that you can pick up after your pup. So please keep that in mind, because when I lived here, I hate stepping in poop, even though I had a little pup myself. So right here coming up is where people that live here get their mail. Of course, this is locked, but this is the laundry room. Now, most of these condos have been retrofitted already, but retrofitted for washer-dryer units. They'll have the small stackables that you can put in condos, and then this is the pool area. And I don't have access to go show you guys everything. It is gated. You are going to need a code to get in. That's something new that they put in about 1.5 years ago. So keep that in mind. You're not going to be able to just swing through here and check out the grounds, but it's all laid out fairly simply. You've got all of these are waterfront right here behind me, and then all the way over here, and then you'll have a few waterfront on this side that are just right on the bay. The big downfall with this one over some of the other inexpensive condos on the water is that there's no dock. There's no dock to even launch off of, but you can put a boat in the water, not a boat rather, but like a kayak or something like that, paddleboard, stand-up paddleboard, or anything smaller. There's a small little beach area just where we kind of were earlier, but of course it's very small, but lots of people would do that. So that's kind of what you're doing. You don't want necessarily boat life or anything like that. You can do that. So That's Finisterra. Let's keep going. All right, so that is Finisterra. Great complex. As I mentioned before, I lived there for years. A lot of them are retrofitted for washer and dryers inside of the unit. Very similar to how we're going to talk about in our third complex, but we're not talking about that right now. Right now, we're going to get into Pirates Bay. Now, Pirates Bay offers one thing that the other two condo complexes on this list don't have, and that's short-term rentals. So if you are looking to rent this thing out short-term, Airbnb, vrbo.com, any of those, whether or not you're going to manage it yourself, you're going to have somebody else manage it, Pirates Bay is definitely one of the better options. Now keep in mind that a lot of Pirates Bay are going to be studios, so they're going to feel a lot more like a hotel. And then some of them are going to have some bedrooms as well, so you'll break out of that feeling a little bit, but it does offer something a little bit unique that these other two do not. Now that you know that they do short-term rentals, and by the way, they do rent out fairly well, not the greatest in our area, but for the price versus what they can net the owner, it's pretty good. Really all there is left to do is check out the grounds. Let's go. All right, so Pirates Bay. Not a whole lot to it, but it fits the bill for a lot of people. It's right on the water. It's right off 98, so you can get to everything very quickly. It's just an overall pretty great complex, especially because you can do those short-term rentals that so many people love. And they're getting more and more popular as we go. But you cannot do those at this third complex. This one would be great for somebody looking for maybe a vacation home, a secondary home, something to come back to, or, you know, maybe you want to rent it out, but all in all, because of the HOA fees and stuff, it's not going to be the best long-term rental. But if you are looking for an inexpensive place to get right on the sound, to be able to enjoy lots of water activities, and then also be right off 98, so you can jump right over into Destin, right over into Navarre, right to the beach, well, this might be your place. Fountainhead offers quite a lot as far as amenities and how they overall keep the grounds, but I don't want to spoil anything yet. Let's go ahead and jump right to the grounds and see for yourself. Let's go. All right, here we go in front of 13A. You're in the back end of the complex here. So your pool is going to be over here on the left. Your tennis court's just on the other side of this. And then the extra parking is on the other side over there, and the dock and everything is going to be over here. We'll see that here in just a second. Let's go ahead and pop on inside. I know your neighbors here on the left at B are here temporarily, or part-time rather. At least that's what it seems like right now. They're in the process of moving everything, so just keep that in mind as we're going through here. You're going to see some boxes. So we have the kitchen as soon as you walk in here. They've upgraded this as well as everything else in 2005 to include the wiring. It was basically brought down to the studs. So it's got the built-in sink. I'm trying to get the widest angle I can, sorry it's a little choppy. And then also keep in mind everything is staying in this property as far as furniture with the exception of this TV and the computer in the back. There's your beautiful view, but we'll look at that here in just a second. Your hallway, your AC right here. This is your heater technically. Got the one bedroom. There's a bunch of stuff in it, but I'm trying to show you the size of the closet there. And then this unit, as you probably saw in the pictures, has been retrofitted with the washer dryer. These are condo washer and dryers, so keep that in mind. Got all the vents and everything. Everything is safe. Not all of them were built like this. So this one actually has this retrofitted here, which is not on most of these. And then the most important part. Keep in mind you do have storage right here. It goes all the way to the other end. This is also where all of your hurricane stuff is. It's what these plastic pieces are for right here. Your AC unit and your neighbors. And then this is your view. Every single beautiful and ugly day. As you can see right here, this is your dock. Does have a sink to clean off any fish that you may catch. You can rent these out. I don't know if any are available at the moment. Then you've got your pool, your clubhouse, and a bunch of the other amenities. You can see here they've got the wraparound pad too. And then the deck covering you. And that is Fountainhead 13B. Whew, okay, all right. That was a lot of condo complexes to see in one day. I hope you're still sticking with me. And now I want to talk about pricing. So I mentioned these are the greatest prices you can get in the Florida Panhandle to get on the water in a condo and with good reason. Now let's talk about those prices in general. So you remember the first complex we talked about? I know it's been a while. Let me refresh your memory. This is the one without the dock, but right there on the bay. Beautiful, surrounded on two different sides. Lots of different great views, lots of different great amenities. Now you can get into Finisterra, a 1-bed, 1-bath. In this year, in 2021, so far, the least expensive that has sold was $95,000. That's under $100,000. To be in a complex on the water. That's pretty good, right? So then we've got the most expensive that is sold there this year, and that was, I know you guys are thinking, okay, it's waterfront, it's gonna be this dramatic number, but I told you, these are the bargains. These are the bargains across the Florida Panhandle. The best priced condo that is sold in Finisterra this year was $185,000 of waterfront amazingness. And this was not only a 2-bedroom, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit right there on the water. Views everywhere. As soon as you look at that windows, views. The sliding glass doors, views. $185,000. Now let's get into our second condo, Pirates Bay, which is made up of primarily the studio complex, these studio style rooms. And the least expensive one there sold at $95,000, just like Finisterra. But that one was a 0-1, so 0 bed, 1 bath, but it did have water views. It was ground floor, you jump right out of your back door and you see all the views right there to your left. And of course you've got the sound to play in right there. Now in this particular complex, I'm going to mention 2 more prices, and that's because not everybody wants a studio. So the most expensive studio I was able to find that sold this year sold at $190,000. That's a 0 bed, 1 bath with a beautiful water view, including a nice balcony overlooking the dock, great views, all in all. But the most expensive one that has sold this year has been $280,000 for a 1 bed, 1 bath waterfront with a larger balcony. This is not going to be a crazy large balcony, but it does actually have a step out that kind of allows you a little bit more space that most of the other ones do not. Now heading all the way over to our last one, the one that you just saw, Fountainhead. That one you can get in as low right now as $75,000. Now I actually doubt that you can get in that low right now, but that is the least expensive one that has sold, and that was for a 1 bed, 1 bathroom, and that was in the back end of the complex. So obviously you're not going to get waterfront for that, but your waterfront bargain, you start getting in there at about the $200,000 range. In fact, we've sold several at $200K recently, and $222,000 is the best that is currently sold. But I will tell you, there are pending condos that are selling for a little bit more than that. So prices are increasing, but of course that's all across the country if you're looking now. I know this is 2021. This is July of 2021, no less. So if you're watching this a little bit later, maybe the market's changed a little bit and prices have changed. If you want updated pricing, just let us know. We can send you everything that's for sale in all 3 of these complexes, or you can just reach out to us and say, hey, give me your best waterfront condo complexes, your best waterfront deals. Give them all to me. I want Gulfront, Sound, Bay. I want all of it. Or you just want bits and pieces, just reach out to us. All of our information is on the screen. We will help you find exactly what you're looking for. We're always looking for a good bargain, especially if you're looking to get on the water. Whew, okay, that was a lot. I really hope you guys appreciated this. If you did, hit that little like button at the bottom, turn it blue for me. It really helps out. And we'd love to talk to you. So hit us in the comment section down below, and well, we'll see you next week. See ya.